I can't really just go and speak on behalf of the whole league. But I mean, for us, that's something that we're going to talk about within our groups, within our team, and what's talked about in players in meetings, and players meetings stays in player meetings.
I think we're at a point in our country where we've had the most eyes awareness that we might have ever had. Especially you talk about 2020 with social media and all the different outlets. Over the last couple months, like people have been talking about this nonstop. So I don't know. I couldn't give you a straight answer if we all boycott week one, will that solve the problem? Like I don't know, because it doesn't matter if we all come back to play week two. So I think everything should be on the table. I'm not saying that those aren't solutions. I just think that it's just hard.
I think we've done a good job amongst each other of just getting each other's perspective, talking if that's at lunch or if that's just in any free time that we have, because it is something that's critical in our country, is how to find a way to be better. And with the Jacob Blake shooting, I mean, it's just me and Travis were talking about it. It's just crazy, man, that this is still going on in the world that we live in today. And we're going to try to set an example in whatever way possible to show that we can get along and we can really respect one another for who they are and not the color of their skin. And we're hoping that we can get over this. I mean, it's too long. It's been too long, and we're going to try to get over this and get to where we all treat each other equally.
They're looking for your replacement here at all times, and they will replace you, and the show will go on without you. And until the people in the NFL who are irreplaceable decide that they're going to step back and they're going to hang it up for a week, 2 weeks, whatever it may be, I don't foresee that happening. I think you have great leaders in this league. You have guys who have a voice and who want to be heard and who are willing to make that sacrifice. I believe I'm one of them. But until those figures who are the face of the league decide that and people rally behind them, I don't think you see that.
Bit of a call out there from Chris Conley to some superstars in the league. A lot of the big names, Kyle, to your point earlier in the show, have not spoken out. A lot of them, though, especially the younger ones. We just saw Saquon Barkley, Patrick Mahomes doing what they can and have made the decision to dig their feet in and to make a stand. What do you make of some of these players' comments that you've heard?
Well, I look at the NBA and I look at LeBron's tweet, which was short, all capitals, and started with an expletive and an exclamation point about how he felt. And then I listened to Chris Conley, who was fantastic there. And his point is, if I could paraphrase him, I'm Chris Conley. No one cares what I think. I feel very strongly about this, but we need the big dogs. We need the faces of the league. We started our show today with Ryan Tannehill standing with his teammates. And I'm not the first to say it, white quarterbacks, the voices in this particular topic resonate. Aaron Rodgers has been very passionate. Yep. Ryan Tannehill. You looked at Tom Brady. It's been quiet. You go on his Instagram, there's an Instagram story picture of a Black Lives Matter t-shirt laid down over home plate. We all loved when Tom Brady joined social media. Wow, it's great, the GOAT, and he's tweeting, and he's having quips with Eli, and he's showing his personality, and that's awesome. But you also went on to social media and have a voice and millions of followers. Much is made about Tom Brady's politics. Maybe he's a Trump supporter, maybe he's not, whatever, that's his right. I like to also think of Tom Brady, but the bottom line is a teammate supporter above anything. And when Chris Conley is saying nothing's going to happen if the faces of this league don't do or say anything, it's been a few days. And the silence is deafening from some of those big names, whether it's on social media or talking to the media, as I understand he may shortly. It'd be nice to hear a powerful message that isn't protecting everything that you think you stand to lose by saying one thing about one cause. This goes back to Jordan. This goes back to Tiger Woods. This is a moment. Tom Brady's under no obligation to take it and make about anything other than football. That's his right. But when you hear the players say we need the big guys, Tom, they're talking about you.
Real talk, KB. Spot on. I couldn't have said it any better. Earlier in the show, Kyle, you were talking about how Ryan Tannehill spoke. And when you watch an individual like that, you want to support him. And as a fan, you look at him and say, that's my quarterback. I mean, look at this image right here. It's powerful. 2 individuals standing in front, one white, one black. The rest of the individuals behind with masks on, which for me, it symbolizes that they're not talking. They're listening, as we all should. But the reason I wanted to bring up what you said, Kyle, is because that sat with me for like 2 hours. And I was thinking about that statement. You're pointing to Ryan Tannehill, you're like, that's my quarterback. I want to support him. Like, I want his jersey. And when we grew up, I felt like it was the golden era of sports, you know? We loved the NBA. These guys were bigger than life. Yeah. They had great commercials and nicknames. The NFL was fantastic in the 90s. And we chose our favorite players by the celebrations they did or the jewelry they wore, how cool the poster was on our wall. It's different now.
Favre and Bo.
And it should be different. Exactly. The Bo Jackson commercials and Deion standing on the globe and the poster that I had on the wall that made all these guys bigger than life. But now, I just want to talk to the youth out there and even older fans. Choose your superheroes wisely. Because there's some guys that we support and it's fine, cool, they can jump high and they can shoot a basketball. They can score a touchdown or throw a spiral arc, a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. That's fine. But the ones that I want my kids to support, the ones that I am going to start to support, the guys that stand for something. Because sports, it's not going to last a lifetime. But the words that you say, it's going to last forever. So just listen to the individuals that are making statements. Because when you watch them play, it's going to feel different.
I think it's a cool thing for the NFL to see guys like Chris Conley out there speaking, because Kyle, I, like you, saw that comment and said, Chris Conley from the University of Georgia, the wide receiver, I don't know if I really am familiar with him. That's an interesting stance, and wow, did he make a lot of sense. So I called up Tad Dickman, the PR guy from the Jaguars. I'm like, tell me more about Chris Conley. He's like, oh, he's one of the best in the building, an absolute leader, and a vocal leader. Then I texted Brad G from the Chiefs, the PR guy from the Chiefs, said, oh, every Tuesday it was Chris Conley who was out there in the community. And you get a chance now to take the helmet off. With the NBA, the helmets are never on. So you know the face of LeBron. You know the face of everyone right down to Matthew Dellavedova. But I wouldn't know Chris Conley's face. And now is an opportunity for players who might not have the same platform as a Saquon or a Devin McCourty or a Patrick Mahomes to make their voices heard. I'll be quick. I'll just give some names who, within their own buildings, have played major roles over the past few months. Chris Conley's one of them in Jacksonville. Billy Turner in Green Bay has been incredible. He's a Minnesota native. He was there on the feet on the ground after the George Floyd situation, and he has been huge in the Green Bay building. Trey Waynes for the Bengals, he's injured right now. He was born and raised in Kenosha. So imagine his impact right now in the conversation and what he is saying into that Cincinnati building. Kevin Byard we saw, and I would just echo what Kay said earlier. Jacoby Brissett might not be the starting quarterback in the Indianapolis Colts building, but I can tell you he is a leading voice, demanding and helping in getting every single player on that Colts organization to register to vote yesterday. These are the impacts that these players can make. And though they might not be household names, in their buildings, they are huge and important role players. And I'll tell you what, the helmets have come off on a lot of these guys, and they're stepping up as leaders in ways that even the household names have not.